Okay, so I watched the Fallout TV show and it was like alright, but I wanted to say what I thought about it because I mean there are some things in it I liked, some things I think were kind of ass, not gonna lie. I might make a video where I talk about the positive stuff, but I just really want to talk about what I didn't like about the show because I think a problem is a lot of the negativity around the show is it's like Reddit New Vegas fans. New Vegas is my favorite game. Just in general, it's my favorite game. I love New Vegas. I have like 700 hours in it. Not as much as some people, but whatever. But yeah, a lot of these are like Reddit dudes who, actually, this isn't very accurate to the games, and of course nobody like cares. No, like anyone who isn't a hardcore New Vegas fan is gonna look at that and think, oh yeah, he's got a point, because they just see a fat Redditor who is complaining that the games aren't authentic, or that the show isn't authentic to the games. But I do think that has made a lot of people defend the show when there's quite a lot of bad things about this show, to be honest. It's kind of ass. It's better than season 1, I think. Maybe I'll talk about like season 1 if this gets like 10 views. But I really didn't like season 1. Season 2 has been alright, but it's got its problems. I think one of the biggest problems for me is it's like the writing is really lazy. It's super lazy, and also it's vague. Like you don't really know what's happening half the time. What I mean by that is, numbers wise, it's really vague. I have no idea what even is the NCR. You would think that in this show they'd maybe give us a bit better idea of what's left of the NCR, but I'm not asking for like give me an actual number of how many NCR soldiers exist, but like it was the reason that at the end of the season NCR battalion arriving was shocking was because the show has given us no cause for thinking that the NCR exists. So I think it was a bit of a lazy plot twist, because like that's like a whole, but that was like what, like at least like 25 soldiers. Why aren't they in Camp Golf? Why is Camp Golf abandoned? There's 25 soldiers that could be chilling at Camp Golf and shit. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty lazy. The Vault plot lines are all really ass. I think they all end pretty decently. Like I don't even know what the characters' names are in the vaults. They're so unmemorable. But the second vault with the eye patch lady, Canadian eye patch lady, like nothing was happening the entire season, and the ending is interesting. I mean, it was pretty funny. The whole like, she's Canadian. That was pretty funny. I like that. Otherwise, though, literally nothing happened in that plotline. Same with the main vault plotline, where it's this, well, what is it, an inbreeding club or whatever. It's like, it's just like it's so nothing. And I get the idea is that the vaults will revolt, but so. Could have done something interesting with that story. It could have, made actual factionalism in the vault rather than just Canadians and inbreeding. Also, the Norman plotline, like, it's interesting. I think it was kind of alright. I like Norman. I think it starts out strong, but it takes a whole season, and they're just in one building for the entire season. Time-wise, it just doesn't fit with the other plot lines. I refuse to, like, Lucy and the Ghouls plotline, generally it looks like it takes place over the course of like, I don't know, a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. Norm looks like it took place over like 2 days. And also his girlfriend surviving the bloat flies is so like, that's so TV. Like, it's so funny that she's the only one who survived for some reason. It's like you could say like, well, then what was the point of introducing her if she died there? But then just remake the. See, you didn't have to have her there in a room full of bloat flies that ate everyone. it's just kind of funny. I also think that time and distance is non-existent in this show. I already talked about time with Norm, but one thing I really didn't like, it was kind of around the time when I started to think like season 2, maybe it's not as good as I was thinking in the first couple episodes, was episode 6, where the ghoul is impaled and he's taken by that super mutant over the night to whatever, the church. I don't know, seems kind of interesting. And he wakes up and he's in that warehouse place. And at the same time, you have the Maximus Thaddeus stuff, where they're coming back from, where they're escaping the Civil War stuff. And in what seems like, so I'm going to give you the rundown of how it goes. Maximus and Thaddeus leave. We have Ghoul taken over the night by the super mutant. We can assume that's happening at the same time. Maximus and Thaddeus are walking to the Mojave while the Ghoul is doing his fun stuff with the super mutant. And then he wakes up and he meets Maximus and Thaddeus. That's like, what? You're telling me Maximus and Thaddeus in the course of a single day managed to walk from like assumedly Lost Hills, which is like southern California, to the Mojave in a single night? Like, huh? What are you talking about? Maybe that's possible. I don't know. Maybe you can do the walk in a single night in real life. The problem is, in Bethesda land, there's death at every corner. These people would be walking a lot slower, a lot more carefully. But generally, that's a thing in this show, that while the wasteland is supposedly so dangerous and war never changes, everyone wants to kill each other, you also just have characters who have like zero defense with them, and they somehow just walk around. Like the Enclave scientist dude, he supposedly then escaped from Colorado. I believe it's Colorado then is that Enclave base, and he just got to California with a dog. The man seems to have zero penchant for violence. Like, I don't know how he managed to escape mutants and raiders and everything. I think in the game timeline what would have been possible, where there's generally a more developed West Coast, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, speaking of the West Coast and games, let's talk about the NCR, Legion, and Brotherhood of Steel, the 3 main factions of this season. The NCR is the same as season 1. Like, I thought we'd get a bit more bit more lore, bit more understanding of what the NCR situation is. Do they exist? Is there such a thing as the NCR, or did Shady Sands equal the death of NCR? Some people I do see talk about how everyone is always talking about how the NCR would fall after New Vegas. For years, people have been talking about how it's so corrupt and destroying itself from the inside, and then when the show actually destroys them, that's now bad just because it's Bethesda. But I think the reason why it's bad in the show and not the way that people think of it in the game is just because the nuke is such an uninteresting way of destroying the NCR. If the NCR is going to be destroyed, it should be destroyed either by itself or as a consequence of the NCR's institutions. Either have the NCR be destroyed in some kind of civil war, in something to do with the Brahmin Barons, or like frontier factions such as Legion destroying the NCR due to them having an undeveloped California and only really caring about profits. The nuke is just like, it's just out of nowhere. Like, what does that, how does that change? What is the point? Why a nuke that has nothing to do with the NCR? If it was the new California Republic or the new California dictatorship, it wouldn't change. A nuke is a nuke. Like, it's just boring and has nothing to do with the actual NCR. Also, just like the fact that Shady Sands is for some reason built on the ruins of a city is still annoying. Like, yeah, that's kind of the whole point of Shady Sands, is that it's called Shady Sands. It's built on the sand, not shady rubble. But sure thing. nothing in Bethesda land can be new. It has to all be built off the scraps of the old world. But yeah, so NCR still kind of sucks ass. I mean, Maximus and the NCR power armor was cool, but that's about it. Legion, oof. I kind of look in New Vegas, I kind of like the Legion. Obviously not morally, they're disgusting, but as a faction, they've always been so interesting to me, despite how vague it can be sometimes. As in, they have a lot of cut content that really I wish got expanded on. Maybe in this TV show could have been expanded on, but no, that doesn't happen. And the thing is, I think if you haven't played New Vegas, you don't know who the Legion is from New Vegas. The Legion was so pointless this season. Like, what did the Legion actually do this season? You just had the Macaulay Culkin reveal. Oh my god, Home Alone kid, wow. And that was it. They crucified Lucy, and then the ghoul goes there and says like 2 sentences and starts the Civil War again. Which was cool. Otherwise, literally, what did they do? They did nothing. Caesar's note. Caesar's note. Just know that people are like, oh, but Caesar, he's so arrogant and prideful and vain that he would have the Legion die with him. But like, no. The note just doesn't exist in Vegas. In New Vegas, this note just doesn't exist. Also, like, you guys know that Caesar has a successor. Like, Caesar can die in game, and he is succeeded by Lanius. Civil War might come afterwards, but still, you know, Lanius was a leader. I don't know why they're looking for Caesar's corpse specifically. Like, what happened to Lanius? Why is he not leading the Legion? Because I'm gonna assume Macaulay Culkin was not the same guy in New Vegas who was like, an emissary of the bear. Like, I just don't think that's him. So yeah, Caesar's Legion kind of sucks ass. Brotherhood of Steel. Brotherhood generally, I mean, I thought it was actually really interesting that they discussed different chapters of the Brotherhood across the Wasteland. I think that's really interesting, and I think it's really cool because in the games, apart from, I'd say, New Vegas's Mojave Brotherhood and Lost Hills Brotherhood, we never really see any communication between different chapters. I mean, you know, even in New Vegas there's no communication. It's just the ending slides make it seem like the NCR allying with Mojave Brotherhood has a direct influence on NCR's interactions with the Lost Hills Brotherhood. So it was cool to see more communication between different chapters. So what I didn't like with the Brotherhood is just more of an extension of Season 1 stuff. Like, the Brotherhood seemingly has no branches of government. This is the California Lost Hills Brotherhood. This is the most well-developed Brotherhood. This has, like, it seems like scribes do nothing here. It just seems like a bunch of paladin bros. Like, they just like frat boys who like blowing stuff up. And it's like, what? The Brotherhood, yeah, no, I quite like having some kind of undisciplined frat Brotherhood soldiers, but that's not the entire Brotherhood. There should be some discipline. It seems like Maximus is the only guy who really takes it seriously, which is so weird. And also the Elder. But like, what? Why does the Brotherhood have zero discipline? And where are the other branches? Like, what are the scribes doing? Has there been any mention of scribes other than just like passing dialogue? And also, what happened to the other branches? Like, we have, I don't remember what they're called, but they're like the Shadow of Steel or something, and it's like the spy agency that Christine is a part of. Like, that's really interesting to have like a Brotherhood spy agency, and there's just like no talk about any of that stuff. I think it's really sad how like a faction is literally in the TV show and in Bethesda games, factions are made up of like 3 important dudes, and everyone else just is a duplicate of each other. Like, in every faction, it's like you have one leader, two kind of okay people, and then everyone else is the exact same. All the Brotherhood soldiers are the exact same, and you just have Maximus the Elder and whoever Maximus's friend is. I don't remember that person's name. Oh yeah, also Thaddeus. I mean, Thaddeus is just comic relief. I don't really care. Though I do hate what he's done for ghouls. Like, why do ghouls regenerate? I was so excited when the ghoul fell on that spike. I thought he really died, and it's not like I want him to die. I just thought like, oh my god, the show actually has a pair of balls and is actually gonna do something like crazy. And I thought it was and then I said this to a friend, and they were like, dude, he's a ghoul. So for my like last big complaint is the show seems very derivative with the Enclave appearing again, which I mean, I get that the show has a lot of non-game playing viewers, so having like old factions appear again I guess works, because for them they'll have never seen them before, but still for the core gamer audience it's a bit like the Enclave again. It's we've had two Enclave branches, and they just do the same stuff. They just like I like them in Fallout 2 and Fallout 3. They're something, but at this point it would just be so boring if we get another Enclave branch who's just like, oh, we want to kill the mutants, we want to kill all mutation. It would just be so boring, but whatever. Also, then the other big derivative thing for me was that post-credit scene in episode 8. I'm sure some people are excited, and I think those people get cucked. Liberty Prime? Are we dead ass? Liberty Prime again. Again, we've had 2 games with Liberty Prime. Are we serious? Are we dead ass right now? Who cares about Liberty Prime? I'm sick of it so much. What is he even gonna do with Liberty Prime? My thought, okay, season 3, we're gonna go to Colorado. I'm at the moment only the ghouls going there, but my thought is episode 1 or 2, NCR and Legion are gonna fight at Vegas. They're gonna go, oh, war never changes and everyone loses at war, so everyone died. And Lucy and Maximus are like, oh, that sucks. Let's go to Colorado for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe House sends them that to kill the Enclave or something. And yeah, that's what's gonna happen. And in that case, if all the characters are in Colorado, what the hell are they gonna do with Liberty Prime? You're telling me they're gonna drag that giant ass machine all the way to Colorado? Or like what? Otherwise, I have zero idea what the hell Liberty Prime's even gonna be doing. Like, that is not making its way to Colorado in One Piece. I refuse to believe that. Like, also just like, who cares about Liberty? Oh, I'm so sick of it. Also, how are they even gonna build it? So is the Brotherhood of Steel destroying itself or not? It looks like all those Pridwins are destroying each other for whatever reason. I don't see why this civil war started. 2 people killed each other who aren't even part of this chapter, and all of a sudden everyone just started killing each other. So cool, whatever. But apparently they also have enough resources to build Liberty Prime. So cool, whatever. Sure thing. So yeah, that was my thoughts. That's what I didn't like about season 2. I might make a video about why I liked season 2, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, war never changes. Yeah, Fallout. Yeah, thanks for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Ring that bell. Yeah. Also, I hope you liked the art. I don't know, I spent like an hour on it. It's not my best work, but I just wanted to have something in the background. Anyway, peace.